This is a quick performance installation video for K10750 that is an AC bracket going on a 2020 or later LT motor or the 6.6 liter. Our first step is going to be to uninstall the water pump. There's a couple reasons behind doing that. First thing that we need to do is there's these locating bushings here that hold on to the alternator, and we're going to remove this one here above the tensioner and just take that out. Also, we're going to drill out this hole right here to 13/32, I believe. Yes, 13/32 drill, if you could drill that out so that I'll take a 10mm bolt, and then let's take a look at the engine. Down here there's a stud that the water pump was riding on, and we're going to go ahead and uninstall that. Obviously I loosened that up beforehand, but there's this star drive, reverse star drive here, and just take that out, and now we're ready to bolt back up the water pump. Now in this step, I'm going to do you a huge favor and say go ahead and install this 10mm by 25 flange bolt. Screw it in right here. Get it down to where, take our plate here, and this is going to slide on there in a later step. But right now we just want to take it to where it's not too tight, but where you can get it slid on. That's going to save you a lot of effort in this next step because this is behind the water pump. We have our water pump back on the engine, and in the kit we supply an 8mm by 75 that can just go right back in here. Screw that on down and attach that. And then we'll put some torque to that. 8mm bolt, we're going to torque that down to 15 foot-pounds. We're ready to take our back plate. You can see it's notched right here. We're going to slide that over that flange nut we installed earlier. 8mm by 25 here, and we'll go ahead and take that on down. We'll do a little pre-assembly on the front plate here. We'll take our M8 by 150, place it here, and then we have a M8 by 180, place it there. We'll flip those over. The shorter tube actually goes down on the longer bolt, and the longer tube goes on the shorter bolt. We're ready to install it onto the cylinder head. All right, we're going to install it here on the cylinder head and down here on the water pump. So we'll go ahead and start sliding that one all the way in. And then this one here will screw into the cylinder head. This one here will push all the way through and be captured on the back side with a 8mm flange nut. We're going to take this down to finger tight. I'm going to leave it a little bit loose for getting our AC compressor installed. We're ready to install the compressor. I want to draw your attention to these sleeves right here. We're going to want to make sure that that's, somewhat close to flush so that the distance here in a second is going to be correct. We're going to take a couple of 8mm by 25 bolts. I like to start with the one on the bottom. Get it threaded in there. That way it holds the weight while I swing it up. Get this one threaded in here. And I'll go ahead and run that one down most of the way. We'll change camera angles here so I can show you what's going on in the rear. All right, we got an 8mm by 60 here. We're going to bring in from the rear, 3/4 inch tube there. And this is still just hanging there finger tight, so we'll raise it up to get it in place. Do the same thing down here on the bottom. And this is why we wanted to leave it loose, so this is a little bit easier in this step. Both of these will be captured by 8mm flange nuts. And we want to leave these nice and loose for right now because we're going to check those in a second after we start our torque process. Ready for a torque process here. Down low here on this 8mm, we're going to torque that to 15 foot-pounds. We're going to do the front of the compressor first. That's going to square the compressor to the plate. Now we'll jump around here on the other side and we'll tighten these up. We'll make sure that we lift up on the compressor to take out any binding there when we do this. Get this tightened down a little bit. It's always nice to have a buddy around to help you, but if you're on your own, you'll just have to hold your tongue just right. So what we're going to do here is, Derek, I'm actually going to have you hold that because I don't think I can hold it up and torque it at the same time. There we go. And so we're going to get this tightened down a little bit. You can get your where it looks nice and pretty.
Right there, okay. Now drop down here, do the same thing down low. Now this should be in place here, so I won't need you to hold it on this one. Get that torque down to 15 as well. Just like that. Now we'll move around front, and we will lift up on it when we're doing the cylinder head. All right, so we're going to lift up on the compressor and come into here on the back side. So we'll lift that up there. I have a little bit of a wiggly joint there, so I can do this from up here. $15 foot-pounds again. Now we'll drop down here. It's mostly holding itself in place, but if you want to support it, you know, that can't hurt anything. Right there, down here. Now, if I'm lucky, I won't need my 13 millimeter, but it is spinning back there, so let me grab that real quick. Grab the flange nut on the back side here, and bring this up to 15 foot-pounds. Now we have one last one hiding in the background that we initially slid the plate over. Now, my wrench won't get in there, so I have the handy-dandy ratchet wrench. I'm a highly calibrated machine, so I'm just going to take this down to good and tight. But if you really want to know, it's a 10 millimeter bolt, 37 foot-pounds. If you can get that done, just, you know, give it a tug. Make sure it's snug. All right, let's move on to the next step. Ready to install the idler pulley. We have a 12 millimeter bolt that we're going to slide in from the rear, load up the idler mount, idler pulley, and then a flange nut. Now, the reason why we do it the way that we do is this flange nut gives a nice flat seating surface to that, so we don't gouge the pulley as we install it. 12 millimeter bolt, we're going to torque that down to 50 foot-pounds. We're ready to reinstall the alternator here. We'll slide that into place. You can reuse the bolt that came out of this originally up top. Our shop manager has lost ours, so I just grabbed one out of our bin. It's a 10 millimeter bolt, so we're going to torque that down to 37 foot-pounds. And in the kit, we've included this bolt here that will now go all the way through into the cylinder head there. We'll screw that down. The whole reason why we've done this is so that this bolt head here won't be in the belt path that we've created here. This socket head here takes an 8 millimeter Allen. It's a 10 millimeter bolt, so we're going to now torque that down to 37 foot-pounds. Just like that. Some of you keen eagle eyes may have noticed that there's a hole here that we haven't done anything with. And what that is, depending on your application, the dipstick may need to be relocated. And what we've done is included a tube, a bolt, and a nut so that you can relocate that dipstick right here, if needed. All right, so we have our belt installed here, and we're doing it with our mini AC and our P-Series power steering, but it'll work in different combinations. Do have wrapping around here over the top, around the bell, coming down, and this has a grooved idler here and here. So this is one of those belts that it's a little bit difficult to get on. It'd be nice to have a buddy, someone to hold this while you're doing that, but otherwise it is possible to get it on. We do a great job of calling out a belt in the installation instructions, but I do want you to take a look here and make sure that this is in its operating range. If it is too loose, as these belt takes a set, goes down deeper into the grooves, and also the belt will stretch a little bit, all will effectively make it longer, and that will cause squeaks and chirps and things like that. So we want to make sure that we have a pretty tight belt on there. This should be good to go. Thanks for watching this quick performance installation video. If you have any questions, please give us a call or email us. We do want to help. And if you have any pictures of your install, we'd love to see those to share on social media or even put up on our website. Thanks.